Levitz, who's the publisher of DC Comics, and we're in our Fortress of Superman memorabilia here. And I was wondering if you can give me a little tour of the place.
Absolutely, happy to.
What do we got over here?
We have fun stuff in every direction. Why don't we start with something from the new movie?
Right.
This is one of Brandon Routh's costumes from the new film.
What do you think?
You got to work out a little bit. But
I work out every day. Come on, I could be the new Superman. Okay.
You know, when Chris Reeves started coming up to the office at the beginning, he was this skinny, big kid. When he started really being serious about the workouts with a really good trainer, he turned into Superman, and it had a major effect on how many girls were
I think
waiting.
I can tell. Oh, really? Oh, there we go. Every comic geek in the world, when you hear the word girl, you're like, what? Now, what I really like about this is you can't tell is it's made up of all these little S's everywhere. They don't show up on.
One of the exciting changes now is Bryan Singer's shot the film in this incredible new high-tech digital camera equipment. So you're getting just enormous richness of detail. So although you won't be able to spot the S's from the film screen distance, you really get a sense of the texture of the costume, the texture of the fabric.
And we actually have a raised S now, opposed to the old style. And,
well, if you want to see a good comparison, here's one of Chris Reeves' outfits. This is from one of the breakaway scenes where Chris would just rip open the costume and show the Superman S.
And this is the same costume we all wore at Halloween, by the way. You know,
absolutely.
So.
We have the new one ready for you for Halloween for this year. So.
Well,
please,
you know what I like
too
is I just noticed this now is that they coated the back of the cape with like a rubbery substance because it does look great on camera. It's like
the capes are different for each different kind of scene.
Okay.
You've got a kind of a walking cape and a flying cape. You'll also notice if you hold the cape out that you've got a progressive kind of color on the inside to show off the costume the most effective way.
Yeah, very nice. Now, let me ask you this. What do you think this would go for on eBay? What do you think somebody, something like this, if let's say somebody donated it?
If it suddenly disappeared?
Suddenly disappeared.
I don't know. I think you might be in the tens of thousands.
I was thinking higher than that.
George Reeves might go higher.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
We donated one of the George Reeves costumes to the Smithsonian a couple of years ago. Here's a trivia fact for you. The early ones were not red and blue, but were brown and yellow because it was being filmed in black and white, and you'd have better contrast that way.
And I love the boots. The boots are really look great on camera too.
They're serious boots.
Yeah. Now, what do we got going on over here?
This is the oldest artifact in the room. This is one of the scripts from the Superman radio show from the 1940s. And it used to be a 15-minute daily drama.
Right.
They did it live on a microphone like this. A guy named Bud Collyer, who later went on to fame as a game show host here in America, was the first voice of Superman. And it was a pretty tough gig, day after day after day being Superman, and Clark, of course. Eventually, Bud wanted a vacation, and they couldn't figure out how to do a daily live show without Superman. What kind of fun would a Superman show be without Superman? So the writers thought and thought, and they finally came up with a gimmick and said, all right, we're going to come up with this substance called kryptonite, and it's going to make Superman weak. So for about 5 or 6 days, he's just going to lie there groaning and moaning while Bud runs off and has his vacation, and then he'll come back and solve the problem.
Oh, wow.
And that's how kryptonite came to be.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, because that's all, I actually bought one of those glow-in-the-dark from the back of the comic book, the Superman box.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really awesome. So, and we got what? These are cells, or these are?
These are cells from the Superman animated series that started in 1996. A great designer named Bruce Timm came up with this visual look stuff from the George Reeves version from originally film and then television.
Right.
One of the real fun moments I had during the course of the making of Superman Returns was to be in Australia the day that Jack Larson, the Jimmy Olsen from this show, was filming his cameo in Superman Returns.
Yes, he plays the bartender.
So as a kid who grew up watching him on the George Reeves show, I finally got to see Jack Larson act in person, which was so cool.
And then we got just an actual prop from...
This is one of Chris's authentic hats. You've got genuine Daily Planet Globe from the new film. This is Lex Luthor's chair from Smallville.
Oh, really? Excellent.
Full of evil thoughts.
Oh, I'm getting really weak right now. I don't know why. I just...
you better move a couple of steps further away from the kryptonite. What's going on here?
Oh, it's the kryptonite, of course. Actually, let me ask you a question. I was telling you off camera about my prize collection. What is it in your collection that is the most prized? What do you have that you're most proud of? I mean, it doesn't have to be a comic. It could be a piece of memorabilia.
No, my comics are the prize of my collection.
Really?
I have over 30,000 comics in my study at home. There's a lot of gorgeous stuff there.
So what do you see as the future of comics? Because I've been saying for a long time that comics are not for kids anymore because you're paying the graphic novels, you're paying a high price for comics. What is the future of DC?
Well, in most of the world outside America, comics have been a medium for kids and adults for decades and decades. America just caught up to that in the last 10 or 15 years, and now we have a tremendous audience of adults reading comics, wide variety of material, and you really have a field that's doing everything from American Splendor and Mouse to superheroes and fantasy. It's a great time.
The one thing now, as soon as I buy the comics, if my favorite artist is on the covers, like they get immediately put in the bags and zipped after they're read once and they're taken care of. I think people take care of things now a lot more than they did in the old days.
More than they did certainly in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, that's why the value of the older comics are.
Well, there were also paper drives during World War II, so that was part of it also. Paper was very energetically recycled, so people would go around raising bales of it from the neighborhood. That's why a lot of the Golden Age comics disappeared.
And how many times have people come up to you and told you that their mother threw away their comic book collection?
Oh, so many times. And I always say thank you very much. It made my collection more valuable.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks for visiting.